My name's Ivan.
Nice to meet you, Ivan. What's going on?
Hi, I didn't intend on calling this number. I was trying to call the LGBT national hotline, but apparently they close by 10. I don't know. I just thought it was a 24/7 thing. So then I found this number, sort of looking for LGBT related, I guess, crisis support. Um, it's sort of unusual for me to make this phone call, so I don't really know how long you're able to be on the phone or not, but I'm kind of just sort of trying to process some of the things happening in my life, and it seems very difficult. So I'm sort of trying to find out if there's like I don't know. I'm just trying to see if there's anyone that I guess could help me process sort of some of the things that was happening.
I'm here to listen, and I'm definitely open to hearing about what's been going on and talking about the support that may feel comfortable for you.
Okay.
What do you think about that?
Thank you, Malachi. Today, how do I? Um, okay. I don't really expect anything necessarily different from this phone call, but I'm still making it because I'm just getting really frustrated. So, essentially, I'm laughing at myself because it's like it's a lot. Essentially, so I'm living with my parents in San Antonio, Texas right now, and I just happened to, I guess, technically, um, I guess I'm not. See, like I'm stopping myself because I guess I'm not really happy like with the processing of a lot of different things. Um, I'm sort of like okay. So here's the hardest part of today, um, which may not seem like a lot, but I guess I'm just trying to sort of tell people things that are happening to me and my family, but there are people out there that are trying to cover up the things that they do, that they willingly, deliberately do just to sort of harm my well-being and my family's. So that is essentially the hardest thing that I'm facing because there's so much heartlessness and only some people will understand. And the hardest part is being suffocated by people who have ill will and malice because of the things that they have done. So I guess maybe me like sort of venting that is the only thing that I'm really going to get out of this. So like I said, I'm living in San Antonio, Texas. I'm in. I'm living in an extended stay hotel, 6923 San Pedro. Um, Funny enough, this is where within the past month or so there was some nationalized news about I guess some sort of like operation where undocumented people were sort of like disappearing, and then like the mayor or someone involving with the city, they were like saying they were going to investigate that or whatever. So like I guess like a lot of the things that's on the news, like deportations, which is not. So that's sort of like one of the direct links that's sort of happening in my parents and my life. So um I'm living with HIV, and I have a lot of complications with that. And I don't think that people really respect the well-being of others based on what I faced. And I'm sort of in the position where like if I keep this, if I don't say what they're doing, it's going to end up with me killing myself because these people have no respect for the well-being of others. So here, so I'm trying to vent. So basically,
Yeah?
for the past 1,000 days of my life, I have been deprived normal sexual encounters. How can that be? It's because my devices and my car, and my mother's car, which is also in my name, we've discovered that anything with a computer is being essentially hacked into, and we are becoming victims of indefinite deprivation of privacy and robbery. These are the same people that claim political support. They claim political protection against LGBT people or like anyone who just disagrees with them. So I'm not really the most political person, but like the thing that happened with Renee Good this past week or so is like it's not just sad to me because I'm like, okay, I see a woman who was shot, and I believe that she was killed. I believe she was murdered, but even though even though I haven't been murdered, what I see is political violence. What I see is just no regard for the lives of other people, and it's directly linked to me because it's what's happened to me and my family. So the main part of it is that I'm having a hard time with school, and then with the things that are happening where I live. So it's a lot. Essentially, I went to nursing school this past year from, I guess, in 2025, and I graduated like 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. However, when I'm sort of regulating myself because there's a lot of details. So basically, ideally, I could take an exam, which is NCLEX, and when you take this exam, you can get a license to work in the nursing. So, like, even if I technically graduated, I technically, that doesn't really matter because you would still have to take this exam. And I'm already sort of behind, and it's not the biggest deal, but what occurred is so unusual and at my graduation that I don't know that anyone, I don't know that anyone literally in the history of time has experienced. I don't know. And so basically, literally during the graduation day morning, I had to sign some grading papers, and so I'm telling you my side. I know that you're not going to really understand everything, and I know that I won't truly be believed until other parties are involved. Like I ended up making a report to like ACLU and other I think Lambda is like some sort of like legal help for people in LGBT cases. I sort of have already reached out to people, but because there was a winter break, and that's what they do, I didn't really, nothing really has changed in the past 3 weeks or so because partly that reason, and also because during the break, I have I have PTSD, and so it gets triggered because I'm living with HIV, and it's okay if you don't know what that means. It's okay if you don't know what that feels like, and it's fine. I'm not. The point is, aside from living with HIV, I get PTSD complications because I never know who can at least who cares enough to try to care for my well-being. And here I am in nursing school, and I'm thinking, I respect my teachers, and I think that I think they're respectable because they're generally wanting in this concept. They're generally trying to help people, and so you just sort of have this vision that they are that they mean well. Well, here's what happened. So, this graduating morning, I have to sign these papers, and the instructor says, no, she tells me, because this is, so my concern in that moment was, she isn't telling me what she's writing on this paper. She isn't telling me to read it. she's telling me to sign it. So she was saying, with a witness, so two different teachers for two different classes, and they were there, and so one of this, in this particular person, she was saying, I, okay, so basically, I need to do a certain sort of form. I'm not sure if it was like a disciplinary form or like, or how she was grading it. She was not saying anything. I asked her, okay, can I give my side? Can I write on it? Because procedurally, that's what had happened with every instructor at the end of the class. Um, uh, you would sort of like speak to them, and they would get your input about how the class went, and they would give you your final grade and something like that. So that was really like not that it was normal. That was a normal procedure. Okay, so this lady is giving me my final grade, and then she basically, I ask her, hey, I would like to give my side on whatever you want to address, and she said, no, I will not allow that. And then she said, uh, basically, I asked her twice. I would prefer to give my side before I sign anything because I hadn't read it. She was basically giving me this paper, and that I had to sign it. And I asked her what it was, and she said that she wouldn't allow it, that she would not allow me giving my side. And then I got suspicious. Why? If that's so, that's been the norm. And so then I say, you know what? I'm going to place a grievance, an academic grievance, because you are not letting me give my side on this, and I have no idea what you're wanting me to sign without reading it. And she acts like, oh, I'm not dealing with you or something like that, and like she's saying, I'm not going to allow this, and she left the room. This was literally under a minute. The interaction I had with this person was under a minute in this room, and so essentially, to my I meant what I said. So after that, I went to go to the library, and then I filed this academic grievance. I did not expect that when I get to the graduating area, which was the gym, like a 5 minute walk from the library, when the graduation was about to begin, when all of the families of the people graduating were there, I'm in the line. I'm literally just standing in line, breathing. And then the dean of the school and the campus police come up to me. And then they start talking to me as if I was going to murder my classmates. Like, I'm not even joking. Like, so the dean comes up to me, and he looks me in the eyes, and he looks upset or angry, and he's saying that Miss Davis filed a police report saying that there was a public disturbance in the gymnasium, and that I was causing this public disturbance. And so the police start interacting with me as if I'm pretty like intellectual, so like I noticed that she's talking to me as if like a wellness check of sorts. Like they send this girl who is supposedly trying to disarm me, like as if that would work. Like I'm like too smart for that. Like I already see what she's doing. Like they send the girl because they think that, oh, the girl is gonna like be more approachable than the guy or whatever. And it's like it's bullshit in my eyes. But what I'm trying to say is, they were literally believing, like the way that they were interacting with me was provoking me. Like they were saying, oh, we don't think that you're like we just came in to check on you, that you were okay, like things like that. Like they were trying to see, like, and it's like, how dare you assume that I was causing any sort of disturbance in the gym? None of my classmates felt that way. And so essentially what happened in that police interaction is that they were telling me, then the girl said, I'm going to have the other guy talk to you. So basically, the guy was giving me the option of like saying, okay, so we're going to arrest you because we got this report that you are causing a public disturbance at the gym. And two, you're holding the graduation from happening because you're talking to us and denying the claims against you. Like, of course I'm denying. Like, so essentially, Miss Davis made a bogus campus police report saying that I had done something to her, that I had raised my voice or something, and she was just basically, how I felt was no. She made this false report because I said I'm going to place an academic grievance on her for not allowing me the same treatment that she would give other students that she wasn't biased against. And so essentially my graduation became this, I guess they were trying to make it me seem like me. So the police was like, in the end, what happened was he was like giving me this handshake, like, okay, I need you to promise me that if I let you go into the graduation, that nothing is going to happen. I was so humiliated. I did not even look at him in the eye because I was fuck him in my mind, because he literally, that was literally the point. He was like, if I let you go into the graduation, nothing's going to happen, right? I could not believe my mind. I could not believe what was happening. So essentially, apparently, the chair of the nursing program ends up getting involved because it becomes public knowledge that other family members, my classmates, they were all talking about me and what was happening to me. And someone ended up mentioning, well, Ivan, we're sorry that happened. Like, if you were minors, like, we wouldn't mind it. Like, cause I guess everyone started to think that it was because that I was getting mistreated for living with HIV or somehow. And so, that I haven't even, so what I'm saying is I essentially lost good communication with the people that I took class with, like my instructors, because they were in a nursing ceremony. There's one person that you can ask to participate. Well, I did. The previous day I asked them, hey, will you participate in the pinning? And she's texted me, this lady who's maybe in her 50s, she was like, I would love to. She didn't show up. She was the lady witnessing what the other lady was wanting me to sign. So she was at school. She wasn't sick. And she was supposed to show up to the ceremony to participate in the pinning. But she didn't show up. She was not there. So I was like, if you didn't want to participate, you didn't have to. You didn't have to agree. So this is one way where, like, I only had like 6 instructors or something like that. So essentially, if they all witnessed this and they knew it was false, were they supporting Miss Davis or were they involved somehow? I don't know. And so it feels like I've lost, because I had in mind that, okay, if I go to another school, like, to continue my education, then they'll probably want to, like, contact the school I went to now, and they'll probably want to get in contact with, like, recommendations for by these people. But now, if I don't know that I don't even know if they're, like, able to be honest and say, hey, like, we support Ivan because blah blah blah. It just feels like I've lost those references because of that accusation that was made that particular day. And so the chair got involved, and I was supposed to meet with her, and then I did. And she said, no, you are graduating, even though they were trying to stop you from graduating. You graduated, for sure. And then the winter break, so this was like the day or weekend after the graduation, but then the winter break happened, So I wasn't reasonably able to expect that anything would happen. So throughout the entire winter break, I've sort of been very distressed because, like, so what's happening? I'm just like, I don't know what's happening. Like, I ended up basically, I still have to meet with them and figure out, hey, do I just sign this paper and go? But that's the thing, like, I don't know if that's the best choice for me because the reminder that I don't have the support from my instructors to use those references to continue my education because someone made a false accusation because they were trying to cover up what they were doing. So I know I'm in the right. And whatever they made accusation, it was absolutely false. So these are the type of people that I deal with. I feel like it's my personal opinion now that, okay, so there are people who really don't care about your well-being. They don't care if you succeed. They may not even care. They may even be happy about it. I don't know. It's caused me a lot of emotional distress. And see, here's the thing. That's on top of the other stuff that's even worse. And that's really the thing that I am not able to accept, I guess. I don't know. So the bigger part of this story is that my mother and I have discovered that there are people that are willing to lower the quality of our wellness in favor of theirs. And I'm not really that cruel of a person to do that to people. But there are people that do that. And I think that's the thing that's triggering my PTSD the most. It's like, I don't understand how there could be such heartlessness, like such a kind of, like this particular type of person that exists. I just don't comprehend that. And I'm not able to get the justice that I deserve. So essentially, the bigger part of this picture is that for the past 1,000 days, my phone devices and my car have been hacked by law enforcement people who are acting outside the court of law. I know this because I've gone out to as many attorneys as I possibly can while I'm in school, which I don't have time to do that. So this past year in 2025, I would end up being challenged by things that no one else was experiencing. None of my classmates. I even ended up showing them a picture that my Google account, someone with a Mac computer was logged into my account. And I make this police report saying my devices are hacked, and that doesn't really matter to these people. So what I'm trying to say is, I have faced the most unusual circumstances, and I don't know that anyone who's ever graduated nursing school would even have that happen to them, like this what happened to me. And that's the thing, like, I graduated, and these aren't my words. This is according to some sort of like nationalized examination that happens at the end of the school year. That you take this exam, and it's sort of like comparing your learning knowledge nationally to other students. I end up graduating, apparently, according to this exam, in the top 1% of nursing students in the nation. And I know that because I did very well, but that's the thing, like, I would have done better. Like, I was literally being suppressed in terms of my academic advancement because I faced bullying by other. So here's the thing. This is the easiest way to vent.
Quickly, Ivan.
What happened?
I hear how tough things are, and I want to hear more about like what's been going on. But like as a suicide prevention service, I do just want to check in on you, given how like exhausting things have been. Have you had any thoughts of suicide in the past few days, including today?
I mean, I have every day I wake up, I just don't want to be alive. And so I have not acted out on that. But today something happened that affected me more.
I see. Yeah, it sounds really tough, and you didn't deserve that at graduation, especially. It sounds like these thoughts have been going on for a while, but your safety is important to me. Have you taken any action to harm yourself today?
No.
Okay, thanks for being open about that. You mentioned thoughts of like not wanting to be alive at times, and these can vary for folks. Do you have any plans to act on the suicidal thoughts you mentioned having?
No, I don't.
Okay, thanks for being open about that. Sorry to interrupt. Just wanted to ensure your safety.
No, I understand. The easiest way for me sort of to like vent about the other things is that I now understand other I'm not the only one that's ever felt this way. So in a way that's sad but also comforting. I understand people who have attempted suicide because they're in a situation where they are trapped and being tortured. Like I know someone I once dated where they literally did that. They were in a marriage and they felt like they were trapped, so they were suicidal and they actually attempted to suicide because they were being abused. So essentially this is my life story now where this is what's happening to me. And I no longer respect the people that are being hired to do what they do because what I see is they are actively trying to harm my well-being. Today, so to get to the point, today, the door where I'm at, in where my parents pay for, in the extended stay hotel, someone opened the door, and it wasn't my mom. I call her, and she said, "No, I'm not there." I was thinking that it was her. So here's the thing. The reality of it is that I told my instructors the things that were happening to me and my family. And given that there are political differences in Texas, I'm sure that there are people that didn't understand the entire picture, or they're just, they're the kind of people that will support abuse, I guess. So basically, there was one instructor, Mr. Mazarak, and this was like July of last year, so somewhere there. I finished his class, and I might have been the last day of class. I take a luggage, which has a lock, to school. My mom said, I have to go to the VA to take your dad to an appointment because my dad has dementia. And so essentially, because we were robbed, okay, so my HIV documents, my parents' financial documents, their marriage documents, my Nintendo Switch, my laptop, a movie called Belle that was like an anime. Essentially, our belongings were being robbed. And here's the thing. I can't tell you everything, but who were the people that robbed us? It was people employed in law enforcement. And they are getting paid to occupy this building where we're living at, and they are living here, and when we leave the room, they somehow have new technology or the support of the management in the building. I don't know, but they're able to use new technology to open car vehicles and anything that has a lock with a computer. They are hacking into it and opening it. That is how they had the opportunity to steal these items. And so I call 911, and you know what they say? We don't investigate if you left the car door open. Because they were saying, okay, we can believe that you had your property stolen, but we're not going to investigate. And here's the thing. it's possible that they were in on it. So the way that this is how dirty the taxes are. We're gonna open the car vehicle. No one's gonna know. We're gonna cover it up, and then when they report it, we're not gonna investigate it because we're gonna claim that they left it open, which was not true. My mom locks that fucking car door all the time, and there is no malfunction. So what I'm saying is we have literally had pictures. We have made police reports. We have told attorneys. They told us you're facing a civil rights case. Essentially, they're paying themselves to live next door, literally the wall next door. They have interacted with my mom. They have interacted with my sister. It's like they're there, and essentially I have been deprived of absolute any normal sense of sexual conversation. I cannot use my phone without some sort of like it's obvious to the person who grew up with the internet. They changed the way that my phone works. So what I'm saying is that they are literally streaming my screen. They are streaming it like an illegal cable channel that people have done before. And so I tell these attorneys this is what's happening to us. And they say, okay, we can believe that. You're still facing a civil rights case. And that's the thing. I don't feel like justice is going to be served because these people are so good at deceiving, at robbing, that I think I'm not the first person that this has happened to. It's happened to other people, and it might still be happening. So I'm just very disgusted that I'm being targeted in a way. And here's the way that I know that it got to school. So Mr. Mazarak is this like, he's in his 30s, he's a veteran, and I think he probably leans more like Republican, perhaps, maybe. And so this is the perception that I've created in my head. That, okay, so see, here's what happened. I tell my instructors, look, at one point, I was taking a school exam through the laptop, and my access to this exam was being disabled. So, given the fact that I had given these police reports and talked to attorneys and pictures of my Google account, for example, that is hacked, I have these things, and they say keep compiling evidence because that's what you can do right now. And that's the thing. Like right now, this conversation that I'm having with you is not a private one, and I don't mean it because I'm talking to you and it's being recorded. I mean that every single, any type of engagement that I have with the public through my phone is being spied on, surveilled on by these people. So I have not had, this has happened for 1,000 days. This is not normal. No one can like psychologically thrive under these conditions. They are literally harming us. And the fact that they can justify the things that they rob, it's like this one giant cover-up scheme. And so right now I'm here with my dad and my mom. They're listening to what I'm talking about because I tell them I need to talk to someone. And they know what's happening. So basically what happened is that I was outed in essence. So I tell Mr. Mazarak, look, this is literally what's happening with me and my family. My mom is a target of deportation because there's no other reason. So I show up to school with that luggage with the lock. My mom says, hey, they're stealing our stuff, so can you take it with you? So I take this luggage to school, and then he says in the front of the class, Ivan, why do you have a luggage with a lock? I need to know. And so the first thing that comes to my head is, okay, my HIV documents were stolen. I did not realize that I was outing myself. I didn't realize that it was just so out of nowhere that's the first thing that came out of my mouth. And that's when everyone else found out that I was HIV positive. I didn't mean to tell them. So essentially, I noticed after that there were some awkward interactions that these people were having with me. Like their faces sort of seemed like concerned, like no, like they were like scared. Like the way that they looked at me, like they were scared, as if like, I don't know, they didn't. I don't know if they were really like biased against me or they just didn't know how to interact with me. I'm not sure. Here, but the problem with that is, I'm sure Mr. Mazarak ended up having these conversations about what happened with other instructors because I was so distraught by what had happened that when they did the exit like surveys of the exams, I was like, I cannot give this person a positive survey. Like like I wanted to because I actually appreciated his education, but there were jokes being made at my dispense. Like at one point when I was at clinicals, he said, Ivan, am I going to expect that the police are going to come here to arrest you right now? It just felt so like, why are you telling me these things? In front of the class, and they were all laughing. Like they were laughing at me. And so when I report this in the survey, I'm sure that something happened. Like I'm sure something they were talking to them about it. Because as far as I know, he's not. He chose not to. Either he was fired, or he was choosing not to work there anymore. Because that's what he said, that he wasn't going to work there. Either way, so I end up having to face the fact that other people were like, they were interacting with me perhaps in a negative way, and it just got worse from July to the end of till 3 weeks ago. So I can move on from the school, but the issue is that I am still. So what happened today is someone opened the door, and the thing is, no one's supposed to do that, and so they're doing it on purpose, because I'm telling you that there are people literally living here to rob us. That's how they're paying themselves. And so like that's where like the legal part gets involved, because I know you're not necessarily able to help me with that, but it is very difficult to be well when people are actively doing things for you to be unwell. So what I'm claiming is that they opened the door just because they wanted to fuck with me about something, and I don't deserve that. No one deserves to be tortured. And my mom and I, this has happened for 1,000 days, and so we were living in another city. So this is not new. I'm sure there's a lot of records involved in this, and essentially I was This is like a year and a half ago, where I was living 4 hours south, another town where I grew up, and my mom was being supposedly investigated for illegal monies, which is a bogus claim. So essentially, they were sort of claiming how does because I was not working and my mom had money. So this is the premise of stupid people. They were saying, well, how does the lady have money? Because she was being accused of drug trafficking, essentially. Essentially, she was being accused of having illegal monies that was from drug trafficking. I'm sure there are at least 12 to 100 people involved in the case that involves me and my mom. Because so much has happened that my mom became a target of deportation, because no one steals your financial or marriage documents unless they mean to, like, oh, is she even a legal resident? And that's why I told you at the beginning of this conversation, I live like literally 2 minutes down the block from where, like a month ago, there was some national news about, I don't know how many people, there was a lot, that they were being deported. Like they were found in this particular location in San Antonio, and from one day to the next they were just deported, and then like the city got involved or whatever. I really don't know about that, but that happened. So there are new technologies being used, and I'm on this campaign essentially telling the world that there are new technologies that allows people that have no business doing this to rob, to organize torture. To me, that's not morally correct. And they're doing it outside of the court of law. So this is from Institute of Justice on YouTube. So I'm not able to really affect change on that at this time, but I am trying to be well, and then there are people that don't want that for me. That's the hard part, and so that was the reason why I ended up making this phone call.
Hmm. Thanks for sharing all of that with me. I hear how tough it's been for you, and you shouldn't have to like carry around your luggage due to fears of like that being stolen.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And while I may be limited on like the support I can provide, it sounds like you've been doing everything you can to ensure your safety, ensure the safety of you and your mother.
Right, yeah, because she has, like my mom, I even uploaded a photo of her crying because it's very difficult to not just live through this, but then being able to tell the truth in a way that people will understand because there's just so many details, and my mom does not she doesn't deserve what they're doing to her. And so me witnessing that, and it's always me in the position of being made unwell, and I can't take that. So I appreciate you listening about this. See, that's the other thing.
Absolutely.
Even if I were to get, so I tell my HIV doctor these events, and he says, I believe you, essentially. He believes that that was happening to me. And so it's very hard to say, okay, we believe you, but there are limited things that we can do to help you. And so what, like, yeah, that's the hard part. They're saying that they believe me, but that's where I don't know how the future is going to develop. So that's where I'm at now.
And it makes a lot of sense to like feel like fearful of that uncertainty.
Yeah.
Are there ways like you might feel more prepared if you are addressed about like deportation or anything else?
No, that's the dumb part. My mom is legally married to my dad, so I don't understand how. Now this is sort of like obnoxious, but like, given the fact that I'm in the profile of like being more intellectual than other people, I don't understand how my mom was being perceived. First of all, to be illegal, like illegally in the USA. Like, I'm not sure.
Right.
The fact that they stole those papers and they know that she's not an illegal alien, I don't fear that she's going to be deported, but I have to hear her say that she can't believe that she's experiencing these things. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I appreciate you listening to me because I probably have wanted that from other people, but I'm someone who like I never like to hurt other people, and I feel like me sharing this with, like, for example, my classmates would be like they wouldn't necessarily, because I shared some tiny bits, but it feels like I'm harming other people by telling them things that they're not directly involved in. So I appreciate you listening to me, and because that's sort of the hard part where, like, okay, people, they might believe you, but getting a certain amount of people to understand what you're going through is really the hard part. Because if I wanted to have civil rights justice, it just seems like they want to cover up what they do. It just seems like that there are ways for them to cover up, and they don't. And I'm never going to get my Nintendo Switch back. I have literally had a loss of probably around $10,000 or more in therapy, in because you're not the first person I talked to. It's just today something else triggered me. So like therapy, the things that they robbed us, it's a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of health, and it's like they made these phones as a torture device because this should be fucking regulated. And so I understand that I'm a stranger and that you're not really able to like. I would tell you, hey, take it with a grain of salt, but like I'm literally telling you the truth. So whatever happens in my life, I still don't know, but I appreciate you listening to me.
Absolutely. It sounds like you are doing everything you can. And I hear you're experiencing a lot of profound situations. And it sounds like, or I'm wondering where you might have like reported this.
Well, I reported it through the police. I made when we were robbed, when we noticed that things were missing. We made police reports because the attorneys say that they need that report, and I'm sure this is nothing new. Anyone that works with the court system probably knows that that's what they do. I ended up reporting to the FBI of all people also that these things were happening. I realize that they are very partial. I just feel like they are very biased against victims of robbery because when it's them, I keep watching the YouTube videos of Renee Good, and it's like people like some attorney who does the news. She's like this Asian lady, and it's they're just saying how unfair it is that her life was taken. So essentially, I'm well aware that there are ways that these people are getting covered up for, because in my opinion, for example, the guy that shot her, he should be charged with murder. But there are people covering up for that. So the same thing that's happening with them, it's happening in my personal life. So it's extra hard. So, I don't want to take up your time that much. I have made reports, but I feel like the flaw in the system is there are people biased against the victims.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I see what you mean, and it makes sense not to place like all of your trust into that. I hear you've been doing like a lot to care for you and your mom, and you've also been working really hard toward graduation, and it sounds like you made it through that, even if it was like a really difficult moment for you. I'm wondering about ways you might be able to like care for yourself or take your mind off of things, even if just for a moment, given how heavy things have been.
Yes, I do that, and that is important to do. Yeah, there's a mental health component to the nursing program. I scored a 3, which means like, again, like the funny part is that I guess I'm in a very unique situation, not just because of what I told you, but because I really do think that, okay, so I was told to